Is it test the test of controls? Fine. Now, is that how many are there? 10 marks, 5 marks only. Okay, it is 5 marks. Yes.
This is which question? Number.
Question
number.
Question number 2B.
2B. Okay.
2B. Question number 2B. Fine. Is that question number 2B, June 2015? Okay. What they are asking?
Okay.
They are asking us to describe test of control, how it will be performed. Is right? In terms of what? In terms of non-current assets. Is it right? In terms of non-current assets. Is it right? See what they have mentioned. They have mentioned 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Is it? First one is general. Okay. Bosnia Trading and Manufacture Electrical Equipment. Year end is how much? 31st December. You are audit supervisor, developing the audit program for the forthcoming interim audit. You are the company internal audit has provided you with the documentation relating to non-current assets and including the related controls below. Okay. Bosnia has a capital expenditure committee, and all purchase orders for capital items are required to be authorized by this committee. Means this is the controls. Is it right? On receipt, each asset is assigned a unique number, and that is recorded on the assets of the non-current asset register. Okay. When the asset arrives, a good receipt note is completed which details the nature of the expenditure, whether it is capital or revenue. GRN classification is reviewed and initial by responsible official. Copies of GRN related are been in totality. If you take into consideration, these are what? These are tests. These are controls. Is it right? These are not test of control. These are controls. Okay. Fine. These are controls. On these controls, we have definitely what we have to. If you say they have the capital expenditure, we will inspect. Is it right? We will inspect. On receipt of each asset, a unique serial number has been given, and it is recorded in the non-current. We will check unique serial number with the non-current register asset. Is that? See, you have the unique number. Is it right? Unique number with the register. Is it right? The procedure is you have to check from here, and for a sample of the asset receipts, you have to check from the back to front. Is it right? Means one side you have to check from the unique to register, and for some you have to ensure verify from the register to unique number. Is it right? For a sample of capital expenditures, we have to know whether they have authorized by the committee. Is it right? When the goods have arrived, they have. Is it right? When the goods have arrived, when the assets arrives, a GRN is completed in details with respect to capital and revenue. This we have to segregate, whether it is a capital expenditure or it is a revenue expenditure. If it is GRNs related to capital expenditure, then it has to be submitted to the finance department for updating the non-current register. If it is a capital expenditure, then only you have to give reference. Is it? Again, for sample of GRNs we will receive. Periodically, internal audit undertake a review of assets in the register and compares them on the set physical. Is it right? That is it physical? That is it comes to what? It comes to 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. What we will do first? We will go of this. Is it right? See, this is what it says. Is it right? You have to existence. This is not non-current assets. Is it? Existence, completeness, rights and obligations, accuracy, and assertions regarding that cost, additions, disposals, and all these things. In the additions, we want to know whether it has been purchased and recorded in the year. Is it? In the completeness, we will see what are the additions and what are the disposals. In the rights and obligations, we will see whether it has been purchased and recorded. Accuracy in terms of depreciation. Is it? Mathematical accuracy in terms of assertions. Fine. Just we will revise once we will revise what are the non-current assets. Is it? Non-current assets, they are talking about the completeness. Is it right? In terms of gross book value, accumulated depreciation, net book value. They are comparing non-current assets to the general ledger with the non-current assets in the general ledger with the non-current register. Is it right? Whether they have exist physically or not. And if a non-current register is not kept, fine, reconciliation of non-current register. Is it right? Existence means we will physically inspect, confirm the company physically inspect all items in the non-current register. Is it right? It should be out. If it is high value items, we have to make it sure that it will be in a good conditions and they have the serial numbers. Is it right? If this is existence. High yielding assets. Is it right? Reconciliation is their opening and closing balances. Fine. Valuation in terms of certificate. Valuation should be done by the experienced person, valuer, expert. You have to reperform the valuation if there is any surplus, and we have to make it updated regularly. Is it right? In terms of any revaluations are being done. Is it right? As per the company policy. In terms of valuation, continuation, you have to inspect draft accounts. Is it? And we have to inspect the draft account. If it is a revaluation, it has to be credited to the profit and loss account under the heading of revaluation gains. For a few sample of assets, we have to inspect the insurance policies. Is that in terms of valuation is done right or wrong? Is that whether if you have the rights and obligations, we have to inspect the documents, ownership documents. Is it right? Registry and lease documents, we have to get it from if there are anything we have taken on the lease or any mortgages, we have to get the certificate from the bankers. We have to mention, get the registration number of the vehicles, if any. Is it? Confirm all vehicles in the client business. Is it? And if there is in terms of land, we have to get the architect certificate, purchase invoices, legal expenses if there any there, statutory books. Is it? If any leasehold properties are there, we have to get the covenants, means what are the terms and conditions. Examine invoices which has been received year end, before end or after end. Okay. Before the year or before the year end and after the year end. Is it? If there is a depreciation, you have to recalculate, reperform the depreciation in terms of the things. Is it? To ensure that all assets has the limited useful life. We have to revalue the assets. If there is any assets to be revalued, and depreciation should be calculated on the revalued amount. Okay, and that's why reperform the things, compare depreciation, scrutinize the draft accounts, and if there are any additions, yeah, this is what we have to make sure. Is that if there are any additions, we have to inspect the documents. Is it right? In terms of capitalization or capital expenditure or revenue expenditure. Is it? No, inspect non-current assets for sample of purchases. Is it? That's what we are talking about in terms of additions. Is it? And any self-constructed assets, you have to mention, you have to take all the expenses related to that. In terms of disposals, whether we have authorization to dispose it off, is it right? We have to recalculate the profit, and we have to, if the asset was used as security, means if it is mortgage, if the asset has been used as a security for another financial financial transaction, we have to make sure that that asset has to have the clearance, is right? And review board meetings for any disposals. Fine. These are the things. Now, as simple as that, when you are doing the things, is that when you are doing the things, you should make sure that we have to follow these things. Is that for non-current assets: existence, completeness, rights, accuracy, and presentation. Fine. Now you go to the question. Is it right? I am writing this again. Is that existence, accuracy, rights and obligations. Is it right? Rights and obligations, and what is the next one?
Authorization. Authorization.
Fine. Authorization. Anything else? Accuracy, completeness. Is it right? Completeness, and presentation. Is it right? Fine. Is it? These are the 5 basic core aspects. Is that? Keep it in mind. Just is that I'll make sure 1, 2. These are important. They are really important. If you have a complete, because it will change from one type of procedure to other procedure. Receivables, you will have different things. Is it right? Now, when you do the thing, see the thing. First and foremost, what you have to do, we select a sample. Always make it a sure. Is it right? Write with this one. Is it right? Everywhere, whenever you are testing the procedures. Is it right? Test of controls. So, select a sample. Always. Is it? Select a sample as such. Is it right? Review internal audit. Fine. Okay. Now, what we are doing, what they say, the first one. Is it right? The first one, what? Capital expenditure committee, all purchases from capital items are required to authorized by the committee. Is it right? What we are doing, when we do the things, capital expenditure, we have select a sample of capital additions during the year and confirm that the review of the capital expenditure minutes. What we have to mention, review, we have to review the minutes, because that is the basic document. Is it right? Minutes will be there where it has been written clearly that how it has been authorized and how it has been discussed. Is it right? That's what it says. Select a sample of capital additions during the year and confirm through a review that the capital expenditure committee meetings that the purchaser authorized. Is it? Review a sample of capital expenditure purchases orders. Is that what we are reviewing? We have to review the orders also. Why we have see, that's what it says. Is it right? First you have to go from beginning to end, and then we have to go from end to beginning. Is it right? This is means whether the process is done in the process has been initiated and the process has been completed. Two things have to be there. Is that the process has been initiated and the process has been completed. Is that we should not say that yes. First, what you have to do, we have to take the minutes of the board meeting to know that all the purchase capital expenditure has been authorized. Next, what we have to do, we have to take the purchase orders. Is that see once you have done here, once it has been initiated and approved, what will happen? They have issued the purchase orders. Is that then you have to take the purchase orders and you have to say that these purchase orders have been authorized or not. Is it? This is the first one. See, very seriously. The same thing happens here. Is it? This is no way different from the previous one. It says that for a sample of non-current assets on site, what they are asking? Yes.
This is test of control or substantive procedures.
No, this is test of control. This is the substantive procedures. When you take substantive procedures, you will come across calculations, re-performance. Is it right? Inspect. Is it right? Observe. Is it right? Inspect, observe. Substantive procedures is nothing but you are physically you are taking the financial statements and you are working on the financial statements, then only it is a substantive procedure. Fine? Then it is a substantive procedure. Here we are not talking about any substantive procedures. There is no substantive procedures are what we are taking the non-current register and we are taking the general ledger. If we take the non-current register and the general ledger, it is a substantive procedure. If you are taking the depreciations, is it? If you are taking the depreciations, maybe you have got confused because I have referred the 10A. Is it right? Maybe you got confused because I referred 10A. Is it right? Exactly. That's your doubt.
Yes.
Is it right? Yes, I can understand that. Because you got confused with respect to this one. 1 minute.
I think chapter 8.
Yes, it is in chapter 8. I just write down on separate paper. I'm writing down. What is there? You have the classification. Is it right? You have the classification, you have the completeness. Authorization. Is it right? Yes, fine. Is it? Here it is there. See the thing. We are talking in terms of what? We are talking in terms of revenue and capital expenditure. When we say it's a capital expenditure, it is more or less regarded to what? It is more or less regarded to non-current assets. Is that what they are saying? To authorization in terms of to ensure the expenditure has been authorized. Next, completeness, whether it has been recorded in the accounting systems, and the third one is classification, whether it has been classified as a capital and revenue expenditure. Okay, thank you. The first one is authorization. The second one is completeness. The third one is classification. Refer chapter 8. Revenue and capital expenditure. Fine? Yes. Is it right? Now it's fine. Can I start? Can I continue now?
Yes.
Is it clear now? Fine. Is it? Now, this is what it says. Is it? We have to take the capital means we have to take the purchase orders from. We have to take the authorized purchase orders, and we have to review the minutes, and whatever the purchase orders we have taken, we have to come back that all the purchase orders has been revised. Is it right? That is the first thing we will do. Is it right? Select a sample of the purchase orders, and we are working on the minutes and whether the purchase orders has been authorized. This we are doing from the beginning to end. Next, for a sample of purchase orders, what we are doing, we will see whether there is a authorization or not. Fine. Next, second one, we are talking about what? We are talking about the same thing. Is that same process will work? Select a sample of non-current assets on sites. These are serial numbers. These are unique number. Is that when you are talking about agree the unique number recorded on the asset. Is it right? And confirm that it has been included in the non-current asset register. Is it right? Means for a sample of assets, you have to make sure that they have the unique number, and unique number with specification has been recorded in the non-current register. Now, what we have to do? We have to take non-current register and make it sure that there are no duplicate numbers are there. Is that means again we have to take the non-current register and make sure that whether it has been tallied with the unique numbers or not, whether you have more than one, we have a duplication, as simple as that. Is it right? Third one, what it says. Third one, first we'll go to the question statement, then when the asset will arrive, in GRN is completed with details of the expenditure with this capital or revenue. GRN classification is done by responsible official. Is that this is the control? Is that by the responsible official? And if there is a capital expenditure, it will be reviewed by the finance department for a non-current assets register. Is it right? Now, what we are doing? first we go from the beginning to the end. Is it right? We will take the sample of GRNs, and if there is a documentation, whether it is a capital or revenue, is that capital or revenue nature, it confirms that the first GRN has been initiated. Is it right? Means it is signed by a responsible person. Is it? First it has to be signed by a responsible person. And if the GRN is capital in nature, you have to agree with what? We have to agree with the non-current register. If it is not in, we are not talking about anything, because see, when we are talking in terms of a non-current register, non-current asset register, we should not focus on the revenue items. We have to focus on the capital items only. Is it? Means for a sample of GRNs, we have to make sure that whether it is a capital or revenue in nature, whether it has been initial signed by a responsible person, and if it is signed, if it is in capital nature, we have to go back to the non-current register to make sure that it has been recorded in the non-current register. Fine. That is the basic concept. Means here we are taking into consideration the beginning to end, as well as from the end to, if it is GR is a capital nature, then agree with the non-current register. I told you few times earlier. What I told you, the first source of documentation will be the non-current assets register. Is it right? Next. What is the fourth point? Is it right? What is the fourth point? It says that periodically internal audit undertake a review of assets in the register and compares them to assets on site using the serial number to confirm assets existence on the confirm existence of the asset. Means whether internal audit department is doing. Is it right? Internal audit department is doing. Now we have to take into consideration confidence the internal audit department. Is that internal audit department is doing this process? What they have mentioned, you have to discuss with the internal audit department how the procedure has been undertaken. Got my point? Discuss with the internal audit department how the procedures has been undertaken of inspection. If there are any due to be carried out between now and the year end, is it? If means discuss with the internal audit department how the inspections has been carried out. Second thing, if there is any due, if there is any still it is anything they have to do over a period of time in next coming weeks or months. Is it right? What they are saying that you attend. Is it right? If any the test of controls are going to be done, attend this review to observe that controls are in operations. It's nothing but if you take into consideration, we have walk through test. Is that walk through that? Review internal audit reports and working papers for inspections. Is that? Now you understand what they have done. Internal audit department. We have to discuss with the internal audit department. Write in your own words. That's very important. Don't say that we have to write in a high jargon. Is it right? Write in your own simple words. That is the reason I'm telling you in a very simple words. Is that the content, the context, the communication has to be done. That's very important. Is that? Discuss with the internal audit department how the inspection has been done. If there is any further inspections, is it? Attend the review and observe how the controls are been in operations. That is more than enough. Review internal audit reports and working papers for inspection which has been undertaken earlier. Is it? If means you have to review what are the internal audit reports which has been done earlier. For what we are doing? We are talking for the evidence. Is it right? Now, the point number 5. Is it right? Access the non-current register. Is it? Attempt to access. Is it right? The using the passive. What happens? Non-current register. Is it right? It is a master file. Is it? It is a master file. It has to be accessed by whom? It has to be accessed by a responsible person. Is it right? It has to be accessed by a responsible person as such. Now, if a clerk should not get access, is it right? Supervisor should not get access. It has to be a. Now, attempt to access. What is the point they have mentioned? Access to the non-current register is restricted through passwords. Is it right? Access to non-current register has been restricted to passwords. We have to know whether the passwords are effective or not. Their controls have been there on the passwords, effective or not. What we'll do? By to a small number of staff in the finance department. Fine. What we are doing related to that, attempt to access non-current register using a password of a non-authorized person. Is it? Which means what? Yeah, I told you. Is it? This is an example of what? This is an example of what? This is an example of test data. Is that? This is the example of what? This is the example of test data. Is it right? This is the example of test data. Are you clear about this? Is it clear?
Yes, clear.
Next. No, this will do later. Fine, we'll do this. Okay? We'll do this. Is it? Here we have done purchases. Is it? That is related to purchases. Okay, that is related to purchases. What is the question? First, we will make sure that what is the question as such. Is it? Fine. Is it? Cherry Blossom Company, 1 minute. What they are asking us? What they are asking us in respect to the purchase system of Cherry Blossom, explain 5 deficiencies and recommend a control to address each of these deficiencies. Is it right? Each of these deficiencies. How many marks they have mentioned? It is for. Is it right? Fine, no problem. Okay, now. Is that? Now, these are the deficiencies. I will just once I will make sure that what we have done. Then I will go to the purchasing system. What we have done in the purchasing. First, we will revise the theoretical explanation. Then we will come to the scenario based for the answer. Okay. Cherry Blossom manufacture custom-made furniture in the year end 30th April. The company purchased its raw material for a wide range of suppliers. Below is a description of Cherry Blossom purchasing system. Okay, we have to identify deficiencies. Okay, focus on deficiencies. If I am missing, just you remind me. Okay. When production supervisors require raw material, they complete a requisition form and this is submitted to the purchase ordering department. Fine. Is that requisition forms do not require authorization and no reference is made to the current inventory levels. These are two deficiencies. This is the first one and this is the second one. If there is no authorization, definitely anybody can place the request as such. Staff in the purchase ordering department use the requisitions to raise sequentially numbered purchase order based on the approval supplier list. Fine, that's good, is it right? That's good. That means the approvals are, which has last updated, is it right? See the thing. They are doing the things, but it has been updated how many months ago? 2 years back. The purchasing director authorized the orders prior to these being sent to the suppliers. Fine. But authorized the orders prior to send to the supplier. When the goods are received, the warehouse department verifies the quantity to the supplier dispatch note and checks that the quality of the goods received are satisfactory. They complete a sequentially numbered goods received notes and a send copy of GRN to the finance department. Is that, see the things, what happened when the goods are received, the warehouse department received, is that inventory, warehouse, is that, and the supplier dispatch notes that the quality, when verifies the quantity to the suppliers and verifies the quality also. Fine. Is it? Till now we didn't find anything on that. They complete a sequentially numbered goods received note and send a copy of GRN to the finance department. Fine. Purchase invoice are sent directly to the purchase. Purchase invoice sent directly to the purchase ledger clerk, who stores them in the manual file. Is it right? Until the end of the each week. No, it has to be updated. It is point number 4. Is it? It has to be updated on daily basis. He then inputs them in the using batch controls and give each invoice. No, is it right? He cannot give his each invoice a unique number based. No, it has to be computer generated. Is it right? Computer generated. The invoices are reviewed and authorized for payment by the finance director, but the actual payment is made. It is point number 5. After the invoice is putting into the system. No, you have only made 60 days after the invoice. Means if the invoice is delayed, is it right? Invoice is delayed, what will happen? The payment will also be delayed. Is it right? If the invoice is delayed, the payment has also been delayed. See this now. Is it okay about the thing? We have identified? We identified five basic factors. Okay. Now these are the identify and explain 5 deficiencies and recommend a control. What is the recommendation we'll give for the first one? first you discuss, is it? First you discuss. What is the, tell me what is the recommendation we'll give for the first one? One by one. Yes, Faiza, start.
It should be authorized by a senior person.
Okay. Next. And no reference is made to the current levels without. Next. Who is the second one? What is the second one? They say that no reference is made to the current inventory levels of the materials being requested without referring whether you have inventory or not. Is it right? Whether you means before you place the request, we have to make sure that it is inventory system has to be updated. If the inventory system is placing a request that yes, that is they need, then only a request has to be processed. Is it? The purchase request should be processed only on the reference of what? Reference of inventory levels. Okay. Next. Staff in the purchase department use the requisitions to raise sequentially numbered or purchase orders based on the, see again, when you are raising the orders, these orders has to be raised by automated system. Is it right? We should never make sure that it has to be done in the manual systems. Is it right? Next one. Who will tell about the third one? Somebody has to take initiative. You have to tell, right or wrong, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. You have to make sure. Otherwise, I will ask by name.
The approved suppliers list should be updated regularly.
No, regularly. Is it right? It is not. It has to be updated on daily basis. What we have discussed, I appreciate you. Is it? I appreciate. I really, you have done. Then only you know whether how you have to approach the question. It has to be updated on daily basis, and it has to be reviewed by a responsible person. Is it right? It has to be reviewed by a responsible person that we are updating on a daily basis or not. Is it right? Very specific. Never write answers in general. Fine. Okay, good. That's very good. Next, who will tell about the point number 4? Yes, Aisha. Yes, Fatma. Fatma or Maita? I don't know who said previously. Fatma or Maita? Maita, Fatma and Aisha. Who? Just tell me, one of you, please tell me. It's very simple. I have already given all the inputs to you.
Purchase invoices should not be, it should be like reviewed or updated on daily basis rather than after at the end of it.
Who stores them in the manual file? Is it right? Manual file, it has to be converted.
I see.
Pardon? It has to convert it into a. It has to be manual file, fine, but manual file, how we have to make sure that where we see the things. You are talking in terms of batch controls, is it right? You are talking in terms of batch controls. You are talking in terms of unique number based on the supplier code. Is that you are talking about all those things? When you are talking about the things, then the manual system should not be in place. Is it right? It has to be stored in the system, and it has to be updated. Is it right? It has to be stored in the system and has to be updated. While coming back to the question answer, we will go in detail. Is it right? Next, the invoice are reviewed and authorized for payment by the finance director. Fine, that's good. But the actual payment is made 60 days after the invoice is input in the system. See the thing. They are talking about the systems, is it right? In some cases, very specifically, they are talking about the systems, is it right? Then immediately they are saying that we are not concerned about the systems. We are talking in terms of manual file. Means half of the things they are doing manually, half of the system they are doing system. Is that automatically what will happen? There will not be a reconciliation. If you have missed manually, definitely if you have missed not entering into the system, how the systems file will get updated? Is it right? How the systems file will get updated? Means you have to review, you have to reconcile the manual file with the systems file. Is it right? That is the control you should initiate. Is it right? Is it? Now, fine. Going back to this, is it right? What they have mentioned, see the thing. Requisition forms are completed by the production supervisor, but not authorized. Is that this is what we have done? What we have the requisition form do not require authorization. Is it right? Without authorization, we cannot go further. Is that if it is done, definitely it is a fraud. Okay, it is a fraud which can be and goods being ordered which are not required, leading to unnecessary cash flows. Is that this is the deficiency? What is the control? Requisition form should be authorized. We are just putting a control. We are not having a test of control. Okay, test of control means we will review sample. Is it right? If we are talking about test of control, I am not writing here, is it? If you say it is a test of control, if they will give for 12 marks or 18 marks, they will say that identify deficiency, what is the control and what is the test of control. If it is a test of control, definitely we will take a sample of requisition forms, is it? All those things. What is the control? Requisition form should be authorized by the manager or director before it is sent to the purchasing department. Is it right? The department should not process any authorized requisitions. Fine. Next one. What it says, go back. I will make sure. Is it right? What they are saying, what we have done, no reference is made to the inventory levels. Is it right? No reference. Orders are being placed for goods without inventory levels being checked. Is it? Inventory level being checked. Is it? This could result in goods being ordered which is not required as possible. Again, what will happen? You are unnecessarily piling up the inventory. Is it right? The inventory system should be updated or to record what you see, that is the maximum level, minimum level, reorder level. Is it right? Danger level. You have done somewhere in management accounting, cost accounting. When completing the purchase order, the ordering clerk should check the current level of inventory. If it is necessitated, then only we have to make sure. See the thing, we are discussing only the control factor. Okay, when we discuss the control factor, focus on the control. Is it? This is what it says. Third one. Is it? What is the third point? Third point says, is it? Third point says what we have done. First we will see what we have identified. Is it right? Staff in the purchasing order department use the requisitions to earn sequential numbered purchase orders which was updated 24 months ago, which was last updated. Is it right? Is it? This we have skipped. We have done this. Is it right? We have done this. First we will do what we have discussed. That is that the purchase ordering department maintains approval list. Fine. This has not been updated for the last 12 months. Is that? This is not recently updated. Definitely, your supplier list should be updated. Okay, supplier list should be updated. Then to from whom we are purchasing, that's very important. Is it from who are the people who are supplying us? 24 months is a long period of time. That by that time people will come, people will go, products will come, products will go. Okay, that's very long time to say. Yeah, as this list is not recently updated, suppliers suppliers being used may not be ideal with regard to the privacy. Price will change, quality will change, delivery times will change. 2 years is a long period, is right? This could result in paying the cost will also increases. What they say, what is the control they are saying? The approval list should be reviewed and updated as necessary. Is it? They say that it should be updated regularly, at least on yearly basis. Is it right? At least on yearly basis we have to update it. Fine. What we have missed? Is it right? See, we have done. This is the third point. Is it right? We have not taken this. Is it right? See, that's very important. Is it right? We have not taken this. Is it right? Is it this not identified? We have not identified. Very simple, so that we can know. Is that where we can know that not identified during our discussion? Is right. In addition, as a computer does not currently monitor inventory levels, it could experience stock outs, resulting in the company being unable to meet the customer orders. In addition, this is the addition. Is that definitely it is not a part of they have put from their own side. Okay. Company does not currently monitor inventory levels. They will definitely, they don't know what is the inventory level. They are not monitoring. They don't know the stock updates. Is it? If they don't have the stock updates, definitely they cannot process it. Efficiency will not be there. The company should set minimum authorized reorder levels for inventory. The moment we say we have to mention that at this level, automatically, see what happens, that is the system generated, is it right? The moment inventory levels are decreasing, if it reaches minimum level, they will give a trigger, is it right? They will give an alert that yes, it has been reached minimum level. It's like a bank account, is it right? If you set your bank account and say that if the balance is below 100, give me alert. If the balance is below 10, give me alert. Automatically bank, the moment you are withdrawing money, if it is less than 100 riyals, it will give you a message that it has been reduced less than 100 riyals. That is in the same way, inventory also will have the alerts, is it? Maximum level, minimum level, reorder level, is it right? Danger level. You should create alerts and automatically it has to be generated systematically, is it right? That we have not done, is it right? Goods being received without any checks made against the purchase orders, is that this could result in cherry. What we have mentioned, when the goods are received, the warehouse verify the quantity of the supplier dispatch note and checks the quality of goods received are satisfactory. They complete a sequentially numbered goods received note and a send copy to the finance department. Now we didn't identify anything, but they say what they are saying that here is that what they are saying that goods are being received without any checks being made against the purchase orders. Fine, this could result in Cherry receiving and supplying goods for that they didn't order. What they want to make sure that when the goods are received, the warehouse department verifies the quantity with the suppliers. Is it that they are talking in terms of what supplies? But they have to verify with whom? We have to verify with the purchase invoices. See, based on purchase invoices, suppliers will dispatch. Is it right? Based on the purchase invoices, suppliers will be dispatched. Now we are checking not against purchase invoice. We are verifying against what? Suppliers. Now what we have to do? We have to match. Is it right? We have to match the suppliers with the purchase order. Then only we can say that which order we have placed and what we are going to receive. Is it right? What we are going to receive. That's see, this is very minute point. Is it right? The goods being received without checks being made against the purchase order. Is it? A copy of authorized order form should be sent. The moment we are placing the purchase order, a purchase order form should be sent to the warehouse department. This should then be checked when the goods were received. Is it right? Means they are saying that one purchase order. Is it right? One purchase order form should be sent to whom? Should be sent to the warehouse, so that they can know that this has been placed in there. What they are saying, in addition, if no checks is made against the purchase order, the company may have a significant purchase orders which are outstanding. Definitely, if you are not verifying against purchase orders, is it right? Then what will happen? There will be a question mark. Is it right? Which purchase orders has been received and which has not been received? Is it right? Which has been received and which has been not received. Again, there will be a mismatch. Once checked, the order should be sent to the purchase ordering department. Means we have to update the purchase department also, and logged as completed. Is that stamp as completed? That's usually we will do. Is that on a regular basis? An ordering clerk should review the order file for any outstanding items. Means we have placed the order but we have not received the order. Means you should have a control over the purchase orders. You getting what? We should have control over purchase orders. PO means purchase orders. Okay, purchase orders. Is that against goods received note. Fine. Now purchase invoices are manually filled. That's that's not the case. Is that we have done this? Is that if I put the numbers, we identify. If I am not putting the numbers, we have not identified. Means why we are doing this? The purpose of doing this means we have to be that much intensively. We have to focus on at a micro level. Okay, intensive means we can know where we are not focusing, where we are working at. Purchase orders are manual filled by the customer, purchase ledger and only updated to the on the ledger on a weekly basis. What we have done, we said that it has to be updated on daily basis rather than weekly basis. This is what we have also written there in the question. Until the invoices are input in the system, there is a risk that it has been misplaced and not entered. Is it right? This would result in an understatement of payables and failing to make payment. If you are not entering, is it right? If you are entering manually, is it right? There is a risk that it has been misplaced. We may miss some invoices. Is it right? We have missed some invoices. And once we have missed one invoices, the payments are not going to be made as such. If this is not practical, then upon receipt of the invoices, each should be, see what they say, what is the control they are saying? Control is it has to be done on what? It has to be done on daily basis. See, very simple, it's only you have to understand. Is it right? That's very specific. You have to be mentally clear about how we are approaching. Is it right? That's the most important thing. If this is not practical, that we cannot enter on daily basis, fine, then upon the receipt of invoices, each have to be attributed sequential number, fine. If you cannot do manually, what is the alternative? Daily basis. What is that? Give them on a sequence number. whenever you are logging it out, is it right? Whenever we are logging, whenever we are entering, is it right? We have to mention that the sequence should not be break. Is it right? See, this is what we are learning in audit. Audit says that there should be a solution for everything. As simple as that. Management says that. We should not say that there should not be a solution. What is the purpose? We have to reduce the risk to the acceptable low level. If you are not doing on a daily basis, fine, you put the numbers. When you are putting the numbers and keeping it in your database, whenever we are entering, we have to make sure that we are entering as per sequence, and we have to again verify that the sequence is completed and there should not be a breakdown in the sequence. Is it right? That's the simplest way of putting the things. Is that fine? I'm taking all the points. Okay, don't say that we are not taking. Is that if you are covering one question, it means we are covering one full concept. Okay, one full concept. Purchase orders are not being agreed to relevant GRNs prior to authorization by the finance manager director. What is there? We have where is that? Is it? Purchase invoices are sent directly to the purchase ledger clerk, who stays in the manual file. He then puts into the batch controls, and each invoice is unique in number. Fine. The invoices are reviewed and authorized for payment by the finance director. Fine. If finance director is doing that, is it right? If purchase invoices are not being agreed to the relevant goods notes prior to authorization, means if the finance director is approving that, finance director has to approve the things which has been reviewed. Is it right? Without any review, it should not go to his desk. This could result in invoices being paid, because once the finance director is approving, done, they will start paying for that invoice. Is it right? Paying for the invoice. Before it goes to the finance director, we have to do all the basic homework. Is it right? We have to review it. We have to verify it with the goods received note. We have to verify goods received note should be verified with the purchase department. The goods received note should be reviewed, and once it is reviewed and it has to be said that it has been received, we have received the goods, quality and quantity check, then only the last stage is it has to be sent to the finance director for the final approval. Is that's what it says. All purchase invoices should be matched with the GRN. They have details should be agreed prior to the invoice being logged to the purchase ledger. Means we have to make sure that it has to be complete. Is it right? Once it has been complete with the to purchase ledger, then only we have to send it to the finance director. Is it? Slow. If you go in detail, you can understand how specifics we are doing. Is that purchase invoice are not sequentially numbered. It's very this type of deficiencies will appear in most of the questions. One, if question is there, authorization, one deficiency will be there. Sequential number, one deficiency will be there. Is it? Matching the orders, one deficiency will be there. Updating the records, one deficiency. These deficiency by default. Is it right? These deficiency will be there by default. So don't get panic that yes, what we are doing. You have to make it yes. For this deficiency, what should be the control? What we have to do? We have to add the test of control also here. We are not doing that. Fine, as per the requirements what has been done. Is that purchase invoice are not sequentially numbered. Failing to sequential means that they are unable to, we cannot monitor, is it right, if it is not sequentially numbered. All, it has to be generated, as simple as that. If you ask me, all purchase invoice should be sequential numbered on a regular basis, and a sequence check of unrecorded invoices should be performed. If the invoices are sequentially numbered, then a sequence check can be performed for any unrecorded invoice. Write it, is it right? You have to write. See, we have lot of time. Trust me, you will have lot of time to write. Write, don't give only where is one sentence descriptions, all those things. Is it right? What they have mentioned, see what they have asked. Be very focused, is it right? Identify and explain, is it right? People will miss this, is it? Identify and explain deficiencies. Then you have to give recommendations for those. Fine. The last one, is it right? The last one. I don't know whether after this it is there or not. Is it? Fine. Invoices are of unauthorized invoices are authorized by finance director, but payment is made only 60 days after the invoice. Is it right? Now, after failing to pay in accordance with the supplier's payment terms and conditions. Is that you are saying every supplier, is it right? Every supplier, from every supplier to us, is it right? To client, is it right? There will be different terms and conditions. Is it right? Terms and conditions. We cannot say that it will be a flat 60 days. What will happen if you are failing to match those terms and conditions of 60 days? Automatically, what will happen? There is a chance that we are losing the goodwill. And automatically, definitely, it will have impact. Is it right? What they say, the policy of making payment after 60 days should be reviewed. Consideration should be given for an earlier payment. You have to mention, is that definitely you have to get discounts. Is that they have to get discounts, early settlement. Is that if settlement discounts are sufficient. Okay. If not, invoices should be paid in accordance with the supplier payment terms. That is what it says. You have to have a supplier's terms and conditions. We have to follow the supplier's terms and conditions, and according to that we have to work it. Is it right? Review. Now from now onwards, focus on question papers little bit. Okay, focus on the question paper. Whenever you are focusing on the question papers, it is the question paper what we have discussed in the theory. Revive for 5 minutes the theoretical concept, and then you focus on the question paper. Don't directly go to the question paper. Is it right? It makes it will give you some refreshness about the concept, and it ultimately it will work. Fine. Next. Just keep it in mind. June to 2015. Okay, June 2015. Just you keep it in mind. I'll check another one. I think we have done this in the lecture. We have done this question. Okay, baby bush, something. This we have done. Fine. Okay, 1 minute. 1 minute. Fine. We'll start this. Okay, we'll start this. I will give explanation of receivables, and inshallah we will continue day after tomorrow. Okay, is that I will give, is it right? I will give intro to the receivables. Is it right? Receivables. Is it? And inshallah we'll continue day after tomorrow. Okay. Now, see what we have done. See, lecture 10 is bigger one. Okay. We have done non-current assets. We have done inventory. Okay. We have done non-current assets. We have done inventory. We will do receivables also. Is that receivables is nothing but what? See how the receivables will work. Receivables work in a very structured form. Is it right? It talks about what? It talks is it? It talks about credits, credit sales. Credit sales will be receivables. Is it right? Receivables, and it will be converted into cash. Is it right? Now, receivables is nothing but what we are talking about the sales. Is right? For us it is a receivables, and for the other people it will be payables. Is it right? For us it is receivables, and for others it is payable. Simple process. Is it right? What we are going to get? We have to get the confirmation. Is it right? We have to get the which type of confirmation? We have to get the return confirmation. I am writing it on the first slide. Okay, we have to get the confirmation. Apart from confirmation, what we have to do? We have to make sure that there should be not only confirmation, there should be reconciliation. Is it right? There should be reconciliation. Is it? Confirmation has to be there, reconciliation has to be there, and there should be existence. Existence is statement of financial position. Is it right? And apart from that, there should be a reconciliation from the sales to receivables, receivables to cash, cash to bank. Is it right? See the thing. Reconciliation with how? Sales to receivables. Is it right? Then we have to make sure that receivables to what? Receivables to cash. Is it right? General ledger. Okay. This is we are talking in terms of general ledgers. Is it right? From cash, again there should be a bank statement. Is it? A smaller one. Is it right? A smaller one. What we are doing? We are talking about the receivables, learning outcomes, direct confirmation of accounts receivables. Is it right? Accounts receivables from whom? From the people who are talking about the payables. Is it? Means payables and receivables. Payables and receivables has to be same. Is it right? I'm repeating again. Mr. X is paying us. We are receiving. Mr. Y. Mr. X account, Mr. Y account should match. That's the very important thing. Other evidence of receivables, if they have any prepayments, if they have paid in advance, is it right? We have to match it. Whenever we are receiving, if any advance we have received, we have to make sure that completeness and occurrence of the sale. If there is a sales is there, is it right? If there is a credit sales is there, then only there will be a receivables. That's simple, is it right? And explain the audit objectives and procedures with respect to the balancing fact. Is it right? balancing factor. What it says that how we have to make sure that is a statement of financial position, receivables and prepayments. Prepayments are what? Paid prepayments. Is it a asset, or it is current asset, or it is a current liability? Sales, it is a prepayment. It is a current asset, or it is a current liability. Tell right or wrong, nothing will happen.
Current asset.
You received in advance.
Current liability.
Fine. Never think that unless until now, once you have told this question answer, you will never do the same mistake again. Understand point? This is what the learning we are doing. That is what I am saying. You communicate, you talk. The more you talk, the more you tell, your mind will be opened. Next time you will not tell. Next time you say the prepayments. You have received prepayments by the suppliers. Is it right? Prepayments by the people who have received, to whom we have supplied. Is it right? If anything we have received in advance, it is a current liability. If anything we have paid in advance, it is a current asset. Is it right? Statement of profit and loss account and in terms of recoverable. Is it right? We have a direct confirmation. If you don't have, in some cases, see what happens. In some cases, you give repeated request. Even after giving repeated request, you will not get confirmation from the suppliers to whom we supplied. Okay, to whom we supplied. Now we should not stop to that. We have to see what is the other alternatives we can have. Is it right? The same thing happens. These are plan the audit, understanding the entity, so on and so forth. Is it right? Receivables may be a material balance. It is a material. Receivables is the amount. Is it right? It matters, as simple as that, on a company financial statements. Is it? It has the impact of the amount. Is it? You have the credit sales. We cannot ignore this. These are usually audited using test of details. Going into each test of details is not a substantive procedure. Is it a test of details? Means what is the test of details? You will verify not from one aspect, you will verify from multiple aspects. Is it right? You will verify with sales, with receivables. Is it right? You will verify with what? You verify with receivables with payables. Is it right? Is it test of details? You will say that you will verify with sales with what? With sales with cash. Is it right? You will verify with cash with what? With cash with bank. Is it right? You are having multiple channels of verification. If you have multiple channels of verification, this is called as test of details and analytical procedures. Fine. Now, sales can be tested at the same time as receivables because both are interrelated. What are the things we are having? We are making sure that, is it right? We are making sure that, is it? We are making sure that it should be what? It should be existence. Is it right? It should be existence. We are making sure that it should be what? It should be completeness. It should be valuation. Existence means unless the sales is not taken place, receivables will not be there. Unless completeness is, it should be in the sales register, it should be in the general ledger of receivables also. Completeness means end to end, beginning and end, both should match. Valuation, whenever we have the sales, is it right? Whenever we are going to have the sales, is it right? Sales will have what? Receivables. Is it? Receivables will always have bad debts. Is it right? That's what we have to work out for whom. It has to be worked out for receivables. Whereas what are the assertions for the sales? Is it right? What are the assertions for sales? Sales is occurrence. It has to occur. Is it right? Yeah, unless and there is no sales, it's not. It has to be complete. It has to be entered in the sales book, and it has to be accurate. Is it right? Means it has to be accurate in terms of totaling. Is it? Accuracy is the moment you say accuracy, we have to make sure that it reflects the totals. Okay, this is the aspect which we are going. What are the audit objectives? Is it right? We will complete this and we'll stop. Tomorrow we'll start substantive procedures. Okay, what are the audit objectives? Says that, is it right? We have the classes of transactions. Is it right? We have the classes of, what is the classes of transactions? Is it all sales transactions relate to the entity for us only? Is it right? Means for not for the third. It means whenever there is a sales, is it right? The name of the firm should be there. Very, very important. All sales transactions should be recorded, should have been recorded. Is it? Means it has to be entered. Recorded means it has to be double checked. Is it right? Amounts relating to transactions been accorded properly. Accuracy. Is it? Amounts mean mathematical accuracy. All transactions are recorded in the correct period. Is it right? Cut off means what's happening during the month of November, during the month of December. Otherwise, what will happen? Sales will increase, or sales this month sales will be recorded in the next month. Is that this point is to be considered? Is it right? Very simple. Next, all transactions are recorded properly. Is it right? Means what happens inside all transactions are recorded properly in terms of cash sales, in terms of credit sales, in terms of Mr. X, Y, Z, all the things. Firms will be there, who is firm, which is not firm. Means what happens whenever we are talking in terms of things, we have to give what? We have to be coded. Yeah, we should have the coding should be there. When the unique code, is it right? You should follow what? Unique code. Automatically we are going to have classification. Next, the second point, assertions, period end, account balances at the end of the period. Is it right? Means what happens? Assume in the month of December. Is it? That's what it says. Is it? If December X company, is it right? X company is having 20,000 reals as receivables. It has to be accurate. Is it right? It has to be accurate. And most importantly, when we are saying X company has to pay, is it right? Means we have to right to receive. Is it right? We have right to receive. Right, for him it is a right to pay. Is it? This very simple. Tomorrow he should not deny that no, I am not going to, I don't have to pay 20,000. It happens. Is that whenever, why we are doing quality check, why we are doing quantity check whenever we are receiving purchases? When we receive purchases, quality check and quantity check, if any damaged goods are there, those damaged goods we will kept it separately. And at the time of payment, we will not pay for the damaged goods. We are not paying. This is, understand my point? You have to link the sales with the purchases. Is it right? Sales with the, when we are sales, is it? We are selling the goods and we have to get the confirmation that the person who is purchasing from us are certifying the goods has been received against their purchase order and our sales order. Is that their purchase order and our sales order should match, quantity should match, quality should match, and they should be put one stamp as a completeness. Then only it will become a valid document for the receivables. Is that? See, this is what we call it as a nitty-gritty of the transactions. Is it right? Means what we have to say, then only they will have the rights to pay and we have rights to receive. All receivables should have been recorded as recorded. Is it right? Completeness. And receivables are included in the accounts as a correct amounts. Is it right? Means 20,000 means it has to be entered as 20,000 only. Fine. That's very important. Now, that is the aspect with respect to the assertions. Period end. What is the assertions with respect to presentation? Means presentation means keep it in mind. Straight away we are going to where? We are going to the financial statements. Fine. Where are you going to financial statements? As simple. Now, financial statements we have to mention is that all events and transactions related to receivables has been occurred and pertaining to the entity. What we have done in the beginning stage, that whenever the first thing, all transactions should be occurred and relate to what entity. We have to write the name of the firm. It should be addressed to the name of the firm. Then only it is a valid document. Is it right? It is a valid document. All events have been pertain to what? Pertain to the entity. Once you have entity, then only what will happen? They will have the right to receive, or someone has the right to pay. Tomorrow in future also we have to right to claim. Understand point? If you are not receiving the receivables, then we have the right to claim. All disclosures required should be included. All the supporting documents, is it right? All supporting documents should be included. Financial information is appropriately presented in the financial statements. Is it right? In terms of what? Classification. Classification in terms of in which coding, that's very important. Classification is nothing but whether it is in the, see, automatically what will happen, you pay cash, you pay by card. Different will be there. You pay by cash, you pay by debit card, you pay by credit card. Things will be different. Fine. You are buying which type of goods, things will be. You just take the invoice slip of any products you are purchasing. Is it right? Next time you are going to any shop, is there any buying? Is there anything you are buying, even a small shop or a big shop? It doesn't make any difference. What they will have very clear classification. Coding will be there. Is it right? Barcode will be there. That from barcode we can identify clearly where it has been placed. Now, financial and other information disclosed fairly and appropriate amounts. Is that in terms of what? In terms of accuracy, in terms of valuation. Fine. Means these are there are three different stages. One, assertions with respect to classes of transactions. One, assertions with the year end. One, assertions with the presentation. Fine. Is it okay? I will stop here today. Okay.